following program is taped in front of a studio audience and is a production of Fugues Media. Listener discretion is advised. Hello, and welcome to Assholes, the show that examines our inner assholes.
We need to work on that tagline.
I'm your host, Gabriel Bears.
And I'm your co-host, Gabe's inner voice, the one he thinks is the asshole in our relationship.
Come on, I'm clearly the nice guy.
We'll see about that.
So, inner voice, you want to tell everybody what we do here on Assholes?
Thanks, Gabe. So, if you're familiar with the Fugues podcast, you know that a fugue on this show refers to a period of time of focused attention. For instance, for those of you listening in your car or doing mindless tasks with your earbuds on, you are in a podcast listening fugue right now.
And these fugues, they're a good way to freeze frame an experience, to examine not just what we're thinking, but why we're thinking it.
See, that's a better tagline.
So a fugue is also the story of that moment. So in the following episodes, we'll be sharing a series of fugues contained in one particular event I attended a few years ago.
What event?
We'll get to that. But first, let's start with a segment on Assholes we call State Your Hate.
State Your Hate.
State Your Hate is how we share our bias on today's topic, but it's also an apology.
An apology for what?
Well, the event we'll be describing is basically a meditation retreat.
Okay, so?
Let's just say I have a thing for events like this.
Like a crush?
Yeah, like an anti-crush.
Who's the asshole now?
I mean, we both find group meditation and wellness retreats a little,
Lame.
I was gonna say kind of irritatingly positive.
Okay, so lame.
I don't want to say lame because that's just an opinion, and I think a lot of people derive good things from these events.
Like what?
I don't know, a sense of community, inner peace. I'm not going to begrudge anyone that.
Truth.
What are you doing?
I'm snapping my fingers. Isn't that a thing people do at inner peace retreats instead of clapping?
See, this is what I mean. You're being an asshole.
No, I'm not.
You're being sarcastic.
No, I'm not.
Yes, that was sarcastic.
Truth.
So this is just to say, for our listeners, if you are a regular retreat goer or you just really liked 9 Perfect Strangers on Hulu, this isn't an attack on this cultural practice. It's more of a deconstruction, like a reverse engineering of the mental phenomena the organizers of this event may or may not be maneuvering for their participants.
Yeah, and no telling where we'll come down on this thing. What was it called again? This retreat?
Medi Club. Their Instagram page says they, quote, come together to meditate, collaborate, and talk about the things we don't usually get the space to discuss.
And this is run by the same organizers as The Big Quiet, right?
Yeah, the Big Quiet's website describes it as a mass meditation movement for all people. They gather tens of thousands in huge venues.
What, like Madison Square Garden?
Not like, literally, Madison Square Garden.
It begs the question, as someone who doesn't really meditate, why did we even go to this?
Well, I guess 2 things. One, I was enrolled in a playwriting course at the Barrow Group Theater, and I was working on a script about a cult leader, and this felt like good research.
Ooh, tell us about the play.
No.
So, you went into this thing as kind of a spy.
Partly, and the second thing is that I wasn't in the best place, like mentally and emotionally at that time, and the event took place on my actual birthday.
Why's that relevant?
Well, at some point in my 30s, birthdays started making me depressed, so I was hoping maybe I'd learn something.
So you were a spy, but you were also kind of open to the experience?
Yeah, I guess.
So this defines our ass scale, right?
Yeah, where ASS stands for asshole sucker spectrum.
Phrasing.
So on one side is the most extreme version of a small-minded, skeptical, maybe even paranoid asshole, the asshole side.
Yeah, this person can be pretty punchable, and they probably see life through a pretty narrow keyhole, an ass keyhole, I guess.
But they also know how to spot bullshit, and they can be charming. So imagine Larry David or Bill Murray.
Okay, so who's on the other side of the scale?
The sucker. Let's say Rose from Golden Girls. Rose is curious. She says yes to most things. She tries before judging. She doesn't hold her preconceptions too tightly.
But she may also be too trusting and gullible, so she can get fooled or manipulated easily.
Right, so she has the potential to be a sucker.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's run a test right now with our studio audience by applause.
All right, you asked for it. Based on what we've heard of Gabe's opinions on wellness/meditation retreats, where does he fall on the ass scale? Is he open-minded Rose from Golden Girls? Or is he a skeptical Larry David asshole?
You kind of led the witnesses there, counselor, but whatever. They're clearly leaning closer to Larry David. I can live with that.
So, should we head to Mediclub to hear some Fugues or what?
Yep, let's take you back in time to June 6th, 2018. I arrived early to Mediclub after purchasing my $37 ticket online. Not cheap for a 75-minute event. It was in a concrete loft space with very high ceilings on Dobbin Street and Barry in Greenpoint, Brooklyn. The place was half full of early birds drinking free kombucha. Not in the mood for small talk, I snuck around the corner to the Spritzenhaus, a German beer garden, and drank 2 glass boots of lager, which actually broke the rules explained in Mediclub's confirmation email, which asked its retreat goers to arrive completely sober. Anyway, I returned about 30 minutes later with a happy beer buzz to find the place brimming with people, many of whom had already taken their seats, which, by the way, were laid out in the shape of a concentric circle, with rows of chairs arranged like Trivial Pursuit pie pieces that flared out from a ring in the center. Between the pie pieces of chairs were aisles for the featured speakers to enter and exit. Pretty clever design. So I got myself a complimentary kombucha, and it wasn't half bad, actually. Didn't smell or taste like barf at all. And I found a seat in a row of young, beautiful hipsters. The formal program, I guess we could call it, began with 2 incredibly attractive people walking to the center to address the audience. He was tanned, wearing a denim shirt with short black hair and a perfectly messy beard. She was wearing a multicolored pantsuit with red hair and bright red lipstick. They were very cheery and easy and joked with each other as they spoke. Then they handed off to the MC, one of the main organizers of the show, a tall, bearded, handsome man named Jesse Israel. He made some announcements which mostly consisted of co-branding opportunities for the performers and the kombucha dealers. As a part of getting loose, he asked us to turn to a stranger sitting next to us and describe our deathbed meals. I turned to my right to find a young woman wearing a brown patterned dress that matched her skin tone and asked if she'd like to go first. She was soft-spoken, but she seemed excited to share her vision. She'd start with oysters. She loved oysters. And then her next course would be spaghetti with tomato sauce, and then on to salmon and rice. And I had to ask, would you really be able to eat all this on your deathbed? I feel like it's got to be a small menu. Really, I meant that as a joke, but I'm pretty sure it sounded obnoxious. And before she could defend herself, Jessie, the MC, called her attention back to the full group. Still, she felt badly she couldn't get to hear mine, so she leaned over and asked about it, and I paused to give it some real thought. And then it became obvious. I knew exactly what I'd request. A warm, fresh Whopper from Burger King. 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 Assholes is brought to you by Fugues Media and Burger King. Burger King, getting you closer to your deathbed meal the more you eat it. Coincidentally, Burger King jumped on the wellness bandwagon when they recently changed their slogan from "Have it your way," which I'm pretty sure means you can put tomatoes on your burger or not, to "Be your way," which I guess means follow your dreams with Burger King. And just kidding, by the way, Burger King is definitely not a sponsor, but I may add their chicken dicks to my deathbed meal.
You mean chicken fries?
Hello and welcome back to Assholes. I'm your host, Gabe Berezin, and with me, literally, as always, my inner voice.
Hey, Gabe. Thanks for having me.
What are you doing?
I'm finishing my Whopper.
God, it's good. You know, this really would be my deathbed meal.
Me too. It makes me wonder, why this prompt?
Yeah, it's clearly not about the food.
Seems like a quick way to tap a certain mental phenomena.
Right. Future thinking. Just this question sent us all into imaginary future fugues.
Humans exist in a pretty unique cloud of perceived time.
Yeah, we're constantly flipping around in our pasts with memories and speeding ahead to our imagined futures.
Apparently, it's very common for wellness retreats to challenge their participants to think about their own death.
Yeah, what's with that?
Well, I assume it projects your possible future into your present mind. The academics call this prospection.
Why that word?
It's like when Rose's mother in Titanic wants her to marry Cal because he's rich, he has good prospects for the future.
You love Titanic.
You love Titanic.
So, prospection is a simple way of making you imagine what you need to change now.
Right, what you'd be proud of when you look back on your life from a future perspective.
While eating a Whopper.
It's a smart way to start an event like this. It forces you into that future retrospective image of your life.
Yeah, imagining a deathbed meal is a pretty harmless way to do it, but there's definitely an unhealthy obsession with death in the wellness self-help industry.
You're thinking of the Guru podcast, aren't you?
Yes, about James Arthur Ray.
This guy was completely out of control. His paid participants entered extreme heat sweat lodges. Just listen to him describe it.
Symbolically, when you're going into a lodge, you're going back into the womb. And symbolically, what you're going to do is to die. It will be the most intense heat that you've ever experienced in your entire life. You will feel as if you're going to die. When you emerge, you will be a different person.
A different person that's not alive anymore.
Symbolically?
No, 3 people actually died in one of those sweat lodges.
Yeah, according to the podcast, he fled the scene as soon as he found out.
And eventually went to jail for negligent homicide. And if you were wondering, after serving his jail sentence, he's back out there doing these retreats again.
Here we go.
Sorry, but the second I hear anything about death visions, I'm seeing red flags,
Sure, but we weren't exactly in a sweat lodge and our lives weren't in any danger.
True.
Maybe we're entering slightly paranoid asshole territory here.
Okay, fine. No damage done so far. Just a deep hankering for Burger King.
Great. So, let's turn to our studio audience to find out where Gabe falls on the asshole to sucker spectrum. Is he a bit of a sucker, like Woody from Cheers, aka Rose from the Golden Girls? Okay. Or is he an asshole, like Bill Murray, aka Larry David?
Whatever.
You definitely jumped to some paranoid conclusions about this pretty harmless exercise.
All right. Let's go back to Medi Club. After our host, Jesse Israel, brought everyone back, he handed it off to a pair of Turkish brother-sister twins. I know they were Turkish because they announced this. She was high fashion, bleach blonde hair, all-white pantsuit with a plunging neckline. Female pantsuits are apparently a common Medi Club outfit. Her twin, a gay man, had long curly black hair with some blonde highlights and was dressed in all dark gray denim. They began a guided meditation, but it was not particularly meditative. They had some problems with the microphone, and they're both a bit anxious, even without the mic problems. I was kind of surprised they weren't more prepared. It just seemed unrehearsed. Their spiel was long and rambling, but also uncomfortably honest, sharing private details of their lives, her struggles with her self-image and bulimia, and his suicidal thinking. They spoke of how much they lean on each other in times of trouble, which they said was most of the time, and the audience gave a nervous chuckle. And then the next part caught me off guard. Addressing the whole audience, they asked us to raise our arms to the sky and then pull them down to our waists vertically in one swift motion. And as our elbows reached our waists, we'd say, "Ah," out loud. It started messy at first, but people definitely locked in quickly. So now we have a room filled with 200 people screaming, "Ah, ah, 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 ah." Okay, maybe it's a little slower. For fear of being the odd man out, I did start doing the arm movements, but quickly stopped once everybody started moving as one, like a school of fish. A friendly woman to my left noticed my discomfort and nudged me with her bouncing elbow. She leaned over and whispered while still flailing her arms up and down, still in lockstep with everybody else. "It's okay if you don't want to do it," which I actually appreciated because she was being nice, but I just smiled and nodded and sat with the awkwardness. I imagined myself walking down the street outside this event, passing by this space, wondering what the fuck must be going on in there. And that odd man out feeling was familiar. So I took a quick spin back in time 23 years ago to Trinity College in Hartford, Connecticut, about 115 miles from Greenpoint, at a fraternity recruitment dinner. It was known as the Hall. It wasn't a traditional hazing frat you'd see in movies like Old School, Animal House, or Revenge of the Nerds. It was less about shaving Greek letters into chest hair and more about poetry readings before dinner, written by literary greats like George Eliot and Geoffrey Chaucer, all of which went way over my head because, hey, I was a neuroscience major. I didn't read that stuff.
The world is great. The birds fly from me. The stars are golden fruit upon a tree.
I don't remember much aside from the fact that we were in candlelight and I just didn't know how to act, or at least react. And though the movie hadn't come out yet, it had a distinct eyes wide shut vibe. I was waiting for everyone to put masks on or something. I just remember looking around and thinking, get me out of here. The what the fuck feeling of that moment 23 years prior and this moment at MediClub felt almost identical. Hello, and welcome back to Assholes. What do you think, inner voice? Both these moments at the stupid fraternity dinner and the paramilitary exercise at MediClub put me in some kind of a self-induced ostracism fugue there.
I know you felt like the odd man out, but that exercise seemed perfectly fine to me.
That can't be true.
Look, I was uncomfortable too, but if we're trying to be objective, what's the difference between this and people doing the Macarena or line dancing at a bar?
You like line dancing?
Have you ever tried it?
No.
Well, I'm sorry, it looks fun. Anyway, it's not really for us to say what's right or wrong in this situation.
Well, it felt wrong.
Of course it did. You were excluded. You have no problem excluding others, but you cannot deal with it when it happens to you.
Truth.
You're never... Hey, stop that. That's my joke. You're never doing what the large group is doing.
Not all the time.
Name a time, then.
I dance at weddings, like when the band plays Shout. I'm the first guy on the ground during the little bit quiet now part.
I wish you could see how dumb you look when you do that.
So this is what they call the out group at the universities that study this stuff, right?
Yeah. Being excluded sucks so much. Scientists have been isolating the neurological effect of exclusion for years now.
Why? Why study it?
For one thing, it helps large companies like Google and Citibank prioritize inclusion efforts to prove scientifically why it sucks to be a woman or a gay man in a conference room full of white, allegedly straight men.
Okay.
You know what? Let's do a quick mental experiment. Let's say we shrunk you down to 8-year-old Gabe and put you on a playground, and 2 other kids are captains picking their respective dodgeball teams.
Okay.
And we'll also shrink your childhood best friend Abe down to kid size 2.
Oh man, we're Gabe and Abe again? This is great.
Not really. In this situation, you got picked last. And just a few minutes into the game, Abe took a dodgeball to the nose. So the studies basically say that getting picked last and getting hit in the face is the same as far as your brain is concerned.
What? So if we each had a brain scan, like an MRI, and we looked at the results, we wouldn't be able to tell who got hit in the nose and who got picked last?
I don't know that they'd be indistinguishable. It just means that social rejection is very similar to physical pain in the brain. Many of the same areas light up.
What areas are those?
The dorsal anterior cingulate cortex and the anterior insula.
I'm not going to remember that, am I?
No.
So we can probably say, hey, can we put my post-puberty voice back?
Still don't have any pubes.
What?
You were saying?
I was saying, thank you. We can probably say there is kind of a quote-unquote pain of being excluded.
Yeah,
Though, personally, I'd rather get picked last by people that clearly can't detect dodgeball talent when they see it than taking a dodgeball to the face.
Yeah, same, but still, it's an interesting idea that it actually hurts to be outside the norm.
I feel like I've been on the other side of that, like the wave at a baseball game. I hate when people don't do it.
Yeah, but think about it. It's fun for you, but there's always people not in the mood.
Like the people that bring needlepoint to baseball games.
They're allowed to do that. They don't have to partake.
I know, it's just a bummer.
Maybe you should make them shotgun a deer and shave their eyebrows.
I'm not hazing anyone. It's just too bad when it's not everyone.
I'm assuming that's how the other people felt at Mediclub when you opted out of their group synchrony exercise.
You're annoying me.
Seems like a perfect time to gauge our studio audience on the ass scale.
Shit.
What do you guys think? Is Gabe on the open-minded, rose-woody, so-called sucker side of the ass scale? All right. Or is he leaning towards the hypercritical Larry David asshole side?
All right, so what's my score so far?
Good question. If the ass scale is between 1 and 10, where a 1 is a gullible sucker Rose Woody, and a 10 is a full-tilt, paranoid, skeptical of everything Larry David asshole, and based on a totally unscientific tally of fake studio audience applause, your baseline is around a 6.
A 6. That doesn't seem bad.
Yeah, but after your future thinking fugue, you went a bit further towards the Larry David side, coming in at around a 7.
Because I was being paranoid about the death stuff, right?
Yeah, you went right down a cult leader wormhole with James Arthur Ray.
Okay, fair enough. And the outsider fugue during the weird physical exercise thing?
About an 8.
Oof. Okay, so baseline is a 6, and after those two fugues, we shifted over to around a 7.5.
Yeah, you're definitely making Larry David proud. Congratulations.
Well, we are indeed assholes here at Assholes.
Speak for yourself.
Thanks for joining us, for those of you in our made-up studio audience. We're just getting started here at Mediclub, so keep an eye out for part 2 coming up soon. And remember, sometimes it's okay to be an asshole.
Yeah, but not all the time.
Yeah, but sometimes it's useful, though.
Can we just take this offline?
Sure. In fact, we're going to have a little chat with your manager.
Oh, really? You're going to call the manager? Okay, Karen.
It's uncalled for. Assholes is brought to you by Fugues Media, all rights reserved. Distribution of this material is strictly prohibited. Services rendered and promotional fees provided by the following. Burger King. Just kidding. Hey, it's me again. There's additional resources in the show notes where you can learn more about James Arthur Ray and the Guru podcast, which I'm sure he's no fan of. There's also extensive research around prospection, and if you really want to geek out, you can read up on the neuroscience studies that compare social rejection and physical pain in the brain. Fugues is written and produced by me, Gabriel Berezin. Original music is written by Santiago Arias Rozo. Script editing by Monty Montan. Logo design by Justin Montan. See you in the next Fugue.